Then get into spoiler territory, and this is huge spoilers. I do recommend that you see this movie unspoiled. It kind of just seems like a party movie with some dark undertones, but it gets pretty nuts. And the thing that happens is... Hello and welcome to Blockbuster Review. If you don't know what that is, it is where I play a single game of Tetris Marathon and try and review a film before the blocks reach the top or until 150 lines. Spoilers are at line 50. Here we go. So, Saltburn. A movie that, I'll be honest, when the trailer first came out, my thought was, what is that movie even about? And I didn't even pay attention to it. Then, recently, I did a different Blockbuster review for a film called Promising Young Woman, which is a movie I did see the trailer to and think, I need to see that movie, and then just never got around to it until a friend of mine asked me to review it for Blockbuster Review. So when I realized that that Saltburn was directed by written and directed by the same person who did Promising Young Woman, I was like, well, that gives me more curiosity. And then all of these TikToks started popping up with people reacting to certain scenes from Saltburn. So my interest was piqued, and I had to see this movie. So Saltburn is about Oliver Quick. He is a young man, I believe, at Oxford, and he is interested, obsessed, question mark. The movie begins with almost like a two-camera interview from Oliver, who is saying, I was never obsessed with Felix, or maybe I was, kind of like... not too clear what his thoughts are on Felix. And when the movie begins, it's clear that he is interested in at least talking to this dude. And Oliver is, unassuming, quiet, maybe a little shy, keeps to himself. And Felix is the son of a very wealthy family. They own land. They're well known. They're very rich. And he has this cousin, Farley, I'm not 100% sure how to say it. And, to put it into 80s high school terms, they're the cool kids, right? And Oliver is not a cool kid. But Oliver does Felix a pretty decent solid one day by letting him use his bike when Felix's bike has a flat tire. He becomes friends with them. He hangs out with them a little bit here and there. And then... Felix, they start to get distant, but then Oliver lets Felix know about a family tragedy. He also keeps pretty tight to the chest what his family life is really like. He just says that there's, like, badness and his dad deals drugs and his mom helps, kind of. And with the news that his father has died, Felix offers to let Oliver stay at his place during the holidays. So... the movie really takes shape when it becomes about Oliver's experience in this place called Saltburn, which is like their castle, their manor. Place is fucking huge. They got servants up the wazoo. And it's a big sprawling place, and they're just, living in luxury. And then it starts to get weird. And when I say it starts to get weird, it was a little bit uncomfortable from the beginning. Oliver, it's not really clear what's going on with Oliver, and then you kind of get this hint that he might be obsessed with Felix, maybe sexually, maybe out of jealousy. It's not 100% clear, but once he gets to Saltburn and he starts hanging out with Felix's sister, I want to get her name, Venetia, and starts hanging with the family, starts gossiping with the mother, and he starts doing some kind of weird shit in the background. I'm past spoiler territory, and if I go to those spoilers, I should just give my opinions on those scenes, and we'll do that a little later. But Farley sniffs out that maybe Felix or Oliver, yes, Felix is Oliver. Farley sniffs out that maybe Oliver is just trying to use them for more money and more standing, and Oliver kind of throws that back in his face and like, what are you doing? Your family doesn't have the money. Their family does. You're just like kind of a part of the family slightly. He tries to pin some bad doings on Farley, which kind of just comes back to haunt him. And Farley gives this speech about how he'll never belong in places like Saltburn. He's just a tourist, stuff like that. But then get into spoiler territory, and this is huge spoilers. I do recommend that you see this movie unspoiled. It kind of just seems like a party movie with some dark undertones, but it gets pretty nuts. And the thing that happens is Felix finds out that Oliver has been lying about his family situation completely. His dad is not dead. His family is not full of drug dealers and bad business. He's just lied about all of that, and he's been keeping it a secret from him. Felix then says, hey, look, my parents already planned a birthday party for you. We're going to never tell them this happened because it's just too crazy. After your birthday party, you're going to get the hell out. Like, that has happened with other people throughout the story. People who need help from this very rich family are kind of kept around for amusement and then just dropped at the first sign of discomfort. But then, spoiler alert, Felix dies. And it's not exactly clear what happened, but my first thought is, okay, well, Oliver's involved. He has to be. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Sure enough, the family is distraught, but like they're in that British rich kind of situation where they can't show their pain, and they're just like silently freaking out. And Oliver throws Farley under the bus, saying Farley's the one that gave Felix the drugs, so that Farley's out. His sister Venetia kind of gives a speech to Oliver that kind of calls him out, like, why are you still here? Like, you've hung out with my brother for what, a couple of months, and suddenly you're as part of this family as like I am? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then all of a sudden Venetia ends up dead, and now they have like both the son and daughter of this rich couple have died, and the wife is distraught. The husband pays Oliver to leave. And then eventually Oliver runs into... her name's Elizabeth. It's kind of a weird name. I mean, for all I know. I don't live in that area. But he runs into her at a coffee shop. She offers to let him stay at Saltburn once again. And it's revealed at the end of the movie that Oliver has her on life support. And basically says it's all been a plan. You guys have no natural predators. And that's what I am, and I'm taking all your shit. Kind of crazy, kind of awesome, a very not long-winded, but awesome story of rich people shit getting taken. Now, when it comes to those crazy scenes, and if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. 1, don't lick tub drains. 2, just wash your dick if it's going to get dirty. And 3, whatever floats your boat, man. Just don't get sick. I think that's all the scenes that I can be talking about. Movie's pretty dope. It's on Amazon. Peace.